200. That is the exact, give or take 1 or 2 development that every single country on the map right now has. All the nations of Europe with their densely developed and packed in there versus the hordes or the steppes where there's not a lot of development. Obviously you can tell at a quick glance, China, Southeast Asia, India, lots of development over there, lots in Europe, not so much over here judging by the size of these nations. Some interesting choices. I'm definitely here for it. No Ottomans, God bless. Of course there's probably some memes in here, you know, Finland, Andalusia. It's probably intended to add a little bit of extra, you know, surprise factor. Religions have been tweaked to give everybody an even chance here. Everybody has 100% religious unity, and cultures are also likewise 100%. Everybody's land is 100% their culture and their religion. This should be a lot of fun. Shout out the guy who made this. I think he actually even commented on a video that I made last week recommending it. So shout out you. I appreciate you. And if you guys have any cool mods that you'd like to see on the channel, leave them in the comments below. I definitely appreciate all those suggestions. Either way, there's only one way to figure out what's going to happen, and that is to turn it on up to speed 5 and unpause. Golly, it runs so fast. Oh, I love it. Less nations means less calculations, which means this game is going to go nice and smooth. Also worth mentioning, there is no HRE, there is no Empire of China. It is all just even playing field. Obviously, trade is going to be a big one. With the end nodes over here, you're inevitably going to have a stronger power block over here, so to speak. And a lot of the trade from this area over here is leaving, especially down in Africa. But it's really hard to tell. A lot of nations will try to conquer up their trade node. That way they can, you know, steer into their nodes. But I imagine trade is going to have a huge impact on this. Shout out Project Caesar. Looking forward to how trade is impacted once that game releases. Big war between Ethiopia and Oyo going on. And looks like it's pretty even, though maybe Ethiopia has the edge. Chukchi over here getting dominated by Oirat as well as Uzbek. So yeah, rip those guys. This is all like Siberian wasteland anyways. Nivik getting eaten up by Ashikaga. Not really a surprise there. Happy to see some rarer tags. I don't know if I'd say rare tags, but tags you don't usually see looking big on the map, like Croatia, Byzantium, Zaporozhye definitely is a big one. Serbia getting all the Balkans is a great meme. India looks remarkably similar, though I think VJ may have gotten split. They definitely lost some land over here, no doubt. And yeah, Chukchi just lost a ton of land to Jiangsu and Korchin, apparently, but not Oirat. Not really sure what that's about. Oh, and the New World is empty, just as Johann Paradox intended. We want a battle royale. I don't really care about the New World. Very quiet over here in Europe. We're like 20 years in. Not really seeing a whole lot. Some blockades going on. But overall, borders are basically exactly the same. Well, that's not true. Poland ended up losing quite a bit of their land to the Teutons, so never mind. Maybe we'll see some changes over here. Leinster is actually huge, but yeah, England looks like they're gonna win. Ooh, Manchu formed, and Oirat ended up actually taking a ton of land over here. Chukchi is a shell of what they once were, has lost like well over half of their land mass. Looking for a little bit of that jihad there, Najd. The war between Ethiopia and Oyo ended inconclusively, but now Ethiopia is at war, getting spanked by the Mams and the Ajuran, so probably not gonna go well for them. Ooh, Croatia beating up on Serbia, and now Karaman getting the rest. Oh my goodness, rip Serbia, bro. Oh, ouch, and rip Zaporozhye as well. I love this nation, such a cool tag. But yeah, not feeling so good, I don't think. Balmanis getting squeezed as well between Madurai and Orissa. And yep, it's not looking good. They're taking a lot of land, like a lot of land. Like Manchu, who took all of this. And Ashikaga, who's a one province minor inside of Korea. And Nivik, who's getting annexed by Korea. I keep looking to pause the recording and like come back after a transition, but there's just so much going on. Serbia is gone. Byzantium ate the rest, and I think Hungary ate a bit of Byzantium, but I could be wrong. Yep, Chukchi's gone. Oirat managed to annex them somehow. I don't actually know how that works. And Korchin is also getting beat up by the Manchu. So yeah, I think we're going to see a nice power block pop out of the Manchu. Well, rip to the Irish. They are indeed English subjects this time as well, with Norway taking a bit of the Scots. Novgorod has been gobbled up by mostly the Teutons, maybe a little bit of the Finns as well, but yeah, we're seeing some definite blobbing. The hordes really do seem to be just dominating, man. Manchu, Oirat, Uzbek, they are just steamrolling through this. Uzbek all the way over into Russia, Kazan, the Great Horde, all of these guys just chomping. Oirat ate a ton of land over here. I don't think they've pushed south. Manchu definitely seems to be pushing, at least over here. I don't think that they've gone against Korea yet, though. Vijay is gone in India, and we're seeing maybe a little bit of consolidation of power, but still fairly blobby. But Europe is stable. Europe is very stable. I'm surprised at how stable it has been, except for Georgia, apparently. They're gone. And as I say it, it looks like Uzbek is actually getting spanked here between Finland, Oirat, and Transoxiana going all in at the same damn time. So rip Uzbek. Oh my gosh. That is, yeah, okay. There's definitely some changes to how much people can take in wars, I think. Stop. He's already dead. One province minor, Georgia, over here in Alania. That's definitely a thing. Nivik is gone. Rip. Looks like Majapahit, I think, was down here, got annexed by Sunda, and Malacca is in the process of getting eaten. Mutapa, with all of their gold mines, is eating up Kilwa, which I feel like you don't usually see. Normally, Kilwa eats Mutapa, so nice little change of pace here, though it looks like they have some help from Rwanda. Syria pushing down into Arabia here, and it looks like Ethiopia and the Mams are at war as well. So definitely a bit of warring going on over here. Yemen at war with Azerbaijan. So talk about a Thunderdome, man. Teutons running train on Poland and Lithuania. Very typical, with a Landshut over here eating up Austria, splitting them with Hungary. So finally, we're seeing a little bit of action over here on the European portion of the map. And they took a couple provinces and they formed Bavaria. Welcome, Bavaria. Westphalia has also formed, as well as Hanover. So I think that's admin 10. Netherlands is here. A bunch of these nations just formed their, respective nations that they're near. Tuscany has popped out of Florence, and Two Sicilies has been formed by Naples, but they ain't looking so good. Fars is looking good, though. Weird color. I like yellow Fars better, but looks like they ate Afghanistan, or at least part of them, possibly. The Reformation is here with the Protestant, with good name placement in Norway, Brandenburg, and the Teutons, apparently, with the three centers of Reformation. Borders incredibly stable over here between Portugal, Aragon, and Andalusia. Though this Armagnac or whatever probably going to get beat up on by Brittany. Burgundy blobbed quite a bit over here into Baden with Savoy taking the southern portions. And Hanover is a one province minor in, of all places, Hanover. Bit of fighting going on over here with Karaman getting beat up by Byzantium as well as Syria by the looks of it. And Tunis also getting beat up on by what I assume is Syria. Kilwa mostly being exiled over here to Madagascar with one province inside of Mutapa. Meanwhile, the Hordes gave Uzbek a nice little tight squeeze hug, but haven't done much other than that, I don't think. Korea, with pretty good name placement, pushing down into whatever this area over here is in the Philippines. And China, Southeast Asia, India, it's all fairly stable for the most part. Najd has been split up a bit. I think Syria took some, Mammies took some, Yemen maybe took some, but Fars definitely did over here. I'm honestly having a hard time keeping track of everything because there's just so much changing and it's moving very, very fast. Okay, now we're talking. Great Britain has formed. Bavaria has gotten the squeeze and Brandenburg has grown. Teutons have not. Lithuania is pushing into the Great Horde and Brandenburg is pushing into Poland. I think I've seen this one before. Tuscany is doing well in uniting the Italian peninsula, and Iberia is exactly the same. Byzantium has had a bit of a comeback. I think they had lost some land a little bit ago, but now it looks like they're pushing into AQ. But holy Syria, Batman. I think that they can handle this war pretty easily. Uzbek has gotten even grosser than it was before, and I don't think they're going to last for much longer. Kind of like Tibet, who got snaked by Shun. Manchu has lost some land to Korea, and Korchin has lost some land to a bunch of people. Looks like Orissa is finally deciding to take it to the other Indian blob, so hopefully we're going to see somebody pop out of here. And this is gross. Looks like Brunei decided to beat up on Sunda, cut them in half. And yeah, Brunei is very scary. Mutapa continues to chomp away at Kilwa, pushing them down to just a couple of provinces over here in Madagascar, and I think these islands over here. Sub-Saharan Africa is like exactly the same, though it does look like Yemen has taking a chomp out of Ethiopia, as well as Najd for sure. Najd is definitely getting smaller. About 140 years into the game, Great Britain with over 1,000 development, Tuscany in the second place with Brandenburg in the third, Finland in the fourth, fifth, Westphalia, Syria in the sixth, Burgundy in the seventh, and Savoy in the eighth. Keep in mind, everybody started with give or take about 200 development, so there's definitely been some consolidation. Also worth mentioning, nobody is going to take exploration ideas. It's like disabled via an option when the mod first boots up. So we're going to just see a Thunderdome. People are just going to have to go to war if they want some land. They're not going to get any freebies. Well, Iberia is still like 1 for 1, exactly the same as it was before, but Italia has formed. Great Britain formed a while ago, eating the Netherlands. Prussia has also made an appearance, which I am always a fan of. But how about that? A giant golden horde formed by Kazan, I believe it was, looking super scary, man. That is a lot of land over here. Almost as much land as Oirot has, though they don't seem to be feeling so good with Shun and Korea ganging up on them. But Manchuria, rip. Though it's very funny that China, Southeast Asia, and even India are still very similar to what they were like 50 years ago. And the land down here, it looks like Brunei is slowly chipping away at Sunda, but not a whole lot has changed over here either. Africa, very samey, except for Ethiopian Sahel, because Yemen has decided that Ethiopia is now Yemen clay. And can you guys see Najd on this map? Because they're there. I see him. Right here. Hey, Najd. Very happy to see some big formables like Italy, Prussia, Golden Horde. Let's hope that that will lead to some interesting outcomes. Some interesting borders, too. Interesting. You know, like Gujarati Khorasan, while Syria chomps away at Fars, looking like the Ottomans, basically. And the development just continues to grow. Great Britain gaining almost 700 since the last time we looked. Syria with 1,400, the Golden Horde, Prussia, Italy, all over 1,000 development, Korea as well, Westphalia very close, and Savoy almost to 1,000. So honestly, the top 8 are very competitive. I'm a big fan. So hopefully we're going to see some competition, maybe have some people fighting it out. And it appears that Iberia ended up having some actual border changes. If you can believe it, Portugal destroyed Aragon, pushing all the way over into Provence, even with Andalusia getting ganged up on by Great Britain, it appears at the moment. The Risorgimento continues, pushing Tunisia out of Italy, and after they do that, they will have everything, which is really cool. Westphalia ended up doing pretty well, with Austria not existing anymore. Hungary taking a bit, but Prussia taking a lot. Croatia, very slim, losing a lot of land to Byzantium, who had a bit of a resurgence, because I thought they were falling off for a minute there. Poland is gone, but Lithuania remains undeterred, looking very good, with Finland almost having the entirety of Scandinavia, as well as over here in like this Karelia region, I think this is called. So yeah, very cool borders. And I love this. I definitely love this. Great Britain getting on the continent. God bless. Also, shout out the Netherlands, a 1 province minor over here. Very good. The Golden Horde, as well as Syria, apparently continue their relentless push east. Korea, I don't think has taken much, but they're looking good. Oirot, not looking good. Shun has got lots of the lands on the interior here, but aside from that, China is still very much split up. Though it does look like Wu has decided to finally push into Southeast Asia, with Khmer and Wu eating up Dai Viet, so that's good to see. Ayutthaya very much not looking good, and Malacca finally pushing down here into Sumatra, I think this island is called. India still not looking that great, honestly. 4 now big blobs with Mewar, a 1 province minor over here. Shout out Najd, still chilling in Bahrain. And Ethiopia continuing to get gobbled up by Yemen. Finally getting a little bit of action over here in sub-Saharan Africa as well. Songhai taking it to Mali and Oyo by the looks of it. Looks like they are allied 2v1. Shout out Songhai, balls of steel. And with a little over 100 years left in the game, we finally have all of the top 8 with over 1,000 development, and everybody from the 3rd up basically has 2,000 development. 1,800 for Korea, 1,600 for the Golden Horde, Italy with almost 1,600, Westphalia with 1,400, and Mutapa with 1,200 almost. So we're definitely seeing some really great numbers in the Great Powers list, and it is like very fluid. There's a lot of changes from check-in to check-in, except for Great Britain. They're just, you know, they're dominating, but the English channel is definitely going to do that to you. Look at that value, 145. There's 107 over here. Genoa has 161, bro. Oh my gosh, that's so much trade value. For an AI game, that is very impressive. Even over here, there's quite a bit. Nippon has almost 77, almost 40 in Beijing. Over here, 64 in Hangzhou. So yeah, we're definitely seeing some values. I'm here for it. Shout out prosperous Korea. Everybody loves a good tall Korea, yeah? Well, here we are. It is actually 1830 something, because apparently this game goes farther than 1821. Understandable, it runs very smoothly, but we're gonna take a look and see kind of how things look in the regular EU4 timeline. Hungary formed Hungary, Austria, and it looks like they're actually beating up on Byzantines, trying to kick them out of Italy, maybe? Because Italy is conquered by Portugal and the Byzantines. Sad to see that. Of course, Prussia formed Germany and slowly pushed north into the Scandinavian regions and also over into the Baltic, looking pretty dang good. Probably the #1 great power, if I had to guess. Great Britain pushed down, touched up the Mediterranean, as well as a bunch of random lands over here for some reason. And of course, the British North Atlantic Islands. We all know about those ones. Mutapa continued to push all the way up into Nubia. So shout out Mutapa, very respectable growth. Oyo, also very respectable growth. I think Songhai was the big dog, and it looks like they had a fall from grace. And speaking of fall from graces, Syria definitely in the process. The Golden Horde looks like they may have lost some land to this, and China was finally partially consolidated under Wu, with Shun owning a bit and then Korea owning the rest. Big Bengal alert, but Madurai over here is actually the big dog over in India. And then it's funny, I saw blue down here and I thought, oh, Brunei, but it's actually Brunei getting occupied and possibly annexed by Korea. Borneo is Korean, and Sumatra is Malacca, of course. The development map mode is crazy. 58 development over here in Budapest. We've got 66 in Metz. A lot of the coal provinces are always going to be really big. But like, look at that, 70 dev in Krakow. 70. That's insanity for the AI. Over here in China, we have Nakang or Nakyang with 70 development as well. 30 manpower dev is, I can't even comprehend that. Look at Egypt, Mim, 48, 42, 42, 42. That is so good. Shout out the Mams deving up the Nile River. The religious map is absolute insanity with the Anglicans, the Protestants, and then the Catholics kind of spread out, though still the majority in Europe, if I had to guess. Orthodox is basically just Byzantium. That's really it. Though it is cool to see that they pushed over into Italy and even into northern Italy. I like that, as well as over here in whatever this is, Leptis Magnus, right? Good name placement there, Sunni. Appreciate that. We do also have some Sikh guys over here, which is also pretty cool to see. And then just some random Tengri provinces over here across from, you know, Hindu Taiwan. Everything down under as well as over in the New World was untouched. So it lets us just focus on the good stuff. A little bit of culture conversion over here. You can see some Hungarian has popped over. Very nice. Little Greco, which I think is actually via the Byzantium mission tree, but I never thought that I would see the AI spawning it. So that is really cool. We have Turco-Iranian from Syria, if I had to guess. And believe it or not, Korea actually overtakes Great Britain for the #1 great power. They have a big name, and I figured a lot of their land was just kind of crappy wasteland over in Siberia, but they come out on top, followed very closely by Mutapa, an African great power. So we have Asia #1, and then we have Africa #2, Great Britain falling to the #3, almost being overtaken by Germany, who I originally thought was going to be the highest dev, followed by Syria with 3,500, 32 for Portugal, almost 3,000 for Wu, and Madurai with 2,700 development. We have an economic hegemon for Great Britain and a military hegemon to the Koreans, bro. Military hegemon Korea. I absolutely am in love. Oh man, I love these sorts of scenarios where people just cook up the goofiest thing and we just see what happens with the AI. Because the AI, despite it being kind of big dum-dum, they always do fun stuff like this, and I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.